So our first step about pricing is whatever you're doing, it has to be worth your time, money, and effort. So before we get into this, I just want to mention that this doesn't only apply to products or retail or even business. It could apply to anything in your life. This is like the basic fundamental even multi-millionaires use. You don't need a fancy formula or take some course to figure out how do you price things. This is just a basic concept that you need to understand, and then everything will make sense for you. So I'm gonna give you a practical example. Situations like this happen in my life. So let's say you have a small convenience store, and then right beside you you have this big grocery store like Walmart, Marshall, Metro, whatever it is. So they're selling a bag of milk for $5. You got customers coming in your store and they're complaining, saying, "Hey, we want you to start selling milk. If we can't walk all the way there, it's heavy, far, this and that." So you don't think too much. You just call the milk supplier, and you're like, "Hey, I need a bag of milk," and he says it's 4.75. So it's literally 25-cent profit per bag of milk. So you don't think too much, you start ordering. So after you sell like 20 bags of milk, that's when you're actually even gonna make one bag of milk like the cost worth it for you. So let's say you start selling 20 bags of milk and then you made like $5 profit. And then all of a sudden one of the customers comes in and he pulls the bag hard and then it rips, it leaks. Now you lost that profit that you made. So this is what I mean by that. Like certain things from outside, it might look like it's worth it, or somebody might force you into doing it, or you just feel like, oh, they're doing it, so you should do it. You don't know their situation. They might be selling 1,000 bags a day and making $200 profit. Maybe they have a different arrangement with the supplier. So if anything expires or leaks, maybe the supplier might take it back because they have such a big purchasing power. So this is what I mean. A lot of people, they get trapped into this vicious cycle of like just doing something like a favor or just starting something without knowing, and then they're kind of stuck in it. So now when you stop selling the milk, all those customers, you're gonna lose it. They're gonna get upset. They're not gonna understand the situation. And then you might say, oh, you know what, fuck it, let me just keep doing it. And then you're doing this task or like selling this product that you're actually losing money from without manning up and saying no, and you're stuck. So this is the major issue. It's don't do anything that it's not actually worth it for you. Don't sell the product if it's not worth it for the day, a week, or a month. Just like do the calculation and make sure it's worth it. This is the main thing. The second point is before you price anything, it's more of a situational pricing rather than a formula pricing. So a lot of people say, oh, 30% food cost, so you have to put 20% towards your expenses and then charge them this price or something. It's nothing to do with that. The basic formula is, it's it worth it for you? Like whatever you're doing, all the costs associated with this thing that you're doing, are you making that money plus some profit that you're happy with? So what that means is like this: if you're driving 4 or 5 hours away to pick up a product and bring it in, you're not gonna use that stupid 30% formula or whatever people talk about. You're gonna calculate the gas and time and effort that it cost you to do that service, plus some profit for you to be happy about doing that. So this is how you determine the pricing. So another example would be, let's say you go to Costco and you buy a case of water for $4. You get 40 water, right? And you bring it to your store. I know the average price in the market for a case of 40 or 24 water or whatever it is usually $5, $6, $4, $7. But is it really worth it for you to sell that water for $6? It's so heavy. You carried it in your truck, you drove with it, you brought it into your store, you put it there. Customers are really happy you gave them that deal, but you made $2 on it. So technically you kind of lost money by selling that, right? So you would either not sell that product or price it for $10 or $15. Out of 10 customers, 6 might complain saying, whoa, $10 for a case of water? I never heard this in my life. But 4 people might really understand it and they say, hey, it's still worth it for $10 rather than me going to Costco, waiting in the line, paying that membership fee and all this stuff, right? So this is what I mean by pricing your product or service or whatever you're doing accordance with the situation. So this is the second point. Just to summarize all this stuff, so what I'm trying to tell you is that don't worry about what the customers tell you, because majority of these people, they have no idea what they're talking about. They never ran a business. They don't know food costs, they don't know rent, employee costs, all this stuff, right? So they're always going to compare you to Walmart. Like, yes, they're going to compare a Walmart price to a small convenience store. They're clueless. So no point of you arguing with them and saying, oh, no, you don't know what we go through. Just shake your head and say, sorry, sir, we'll talk to the management, or our rent is high, we'll work on it. Just that's it. You explaining it or negotiating or trying to prove a point to them, you never gain anything. This is what I learned in my life. Just shake your head. And if there's too many people complaining and you just feel like it's like a hassle, and if the money is not worth it, don't sell the product. Simple as that. Just stop selling the product rather than going through it. Sell the product for a good profit. Like, you want to make profit at the end of the day. Like, when you price your product, you have to kind of feel a little uncomfortable, like almost like not ripping them off, but like you feel like it is overpriced. Like, this is the equilibrium point where like it's perfect, because you really want to make that profit to get the money to reinvest in your business, to market. It's always better to overcharge your customers rather than undercharge. This is what I learned in my life. And don't look for like volume of people. That's only grocery stores or big multi-millionaire companies. When you're small or starting something small, it's always limited amount of customers. So you should try to charge them the muchest possible. Like, this is the rule. You want high quality paying customers that will pay high price. You're not trying to get every person to come buy from you and satisfy it. The cheap customers, try to cut them out. This is the concept that you can use in your life for anything.